ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Pioneers Pathway podcast, joined as always by your two favorite co-hosts. You got me, Sharia, and you've got my good friend, Mr. Villani. How are you, Liam?
I'm good. I'm doing well. It's been a bit. I've had a bit of a break from Spain, but nice to be back in the 35-degree heat. So it's all good. It's all good. But today, we're talking about AI, aren't we? AI. Is it a bubble? Isn't it a bubble? What do people think? What's your views on it all?
Well, look, I think we've seen bubbles for centuries now. I mean, our economics teacher used to talk quite fondly about the tulip one. I can't remember how many years ago it was, but bubbles have been a part of life. We've seen one. I mean, if you were to classify crypto as one, crypto obviously did have a little bit of blip in between before shooting up again. There's debates whether that's a bubble. But even if you go 25 years ago with the dot-com bubble, you had companies raising funds at a ridiculous valuation, and what happens? A couple of years later, it all comes crashing down. Now, the question remains, is this something that we're going to see today with all these AI startups, basically LLMs using ChatGPT wrappers, all these different platforms, their wrappers? I think there's quite a strong possibility. What are your thoughts?
I'm no technical person. I wouldn't say I'm the most fluid with AI. But what I see is that sort of technology is never sort of stagnant, right? And AI is the big thing now, but AI is the foundation towards the next big thing, right? If that makes sense. And so yeah, startups are using AI, and they should. And it's not just shouldn't be just startups. It should be all sorts of organizations. But they're using AI to create bigger and better things, which will then be the next foundation towards our sort of technological ecosystem, right? So I think it's a bubble, but it's a bubble which is just going to lead to the next bubble, and I wouldn't say it's going to necessarily burst, because it's an investment, and it's investment which is going to just changing the shape of how we do things, right?
Would you say it's sort of similar in that sense, a dot-com bubble, or dissimilar? What are your thoughts there?
I see AI being able to naturally progress to new technology, right? I see AI being able to sort of lead to applications in healthcare, in tech, in education, in all sorts of areas, right? The dot-com bubble and the dot-com sort of wave, which is the early 2000s, right? There wasn't much that you could then sort of progress from that, right? Everyone started creating websites. All these websites had so much value to it, and they still do, right? E-commerce, the dot-com sales, and all these sort of things is massive, right? But I can't see it sort of being able to lead to anything else other than websites, right? Does that make sense?
No, of course. I think that's a very sort of valid point you've made, because before it was largely e-commerce. Obviously, Amazon was one of the guys that broke through during that time. eBay as well. They were mainly e-commerce guys, but now you have more SaaS B2B guys. It seems to be sort of a different thing. But I guess
also,
from the
sorry, I was just going to say, in terms of Amazon, right? It's important to know they didn't make a profit for many years, right? And so it's to survive in technology these days. It's very hard, right? You kind of have to be in it for the long run, but you also sort of have to know that be able to ride those ups and downs.
Yeah, no, of course, and you have to be able to stand out in the industry, because it's so easy to be able to replicate technologies as is. I mean, one of the biggest, companies that are coming out is Lovable, right? Vibe coding, all these different things. Now, with that, you've got competitors to Lovable who do an equally, competent job. You've got Flute, you've got Blink.dev. I'm sure there are 1,000 others who I haven't named. So you also have to be able to stand out. Now, it's also a globalized economy. So you're fighting with guys who are maybe based in India, maybe based in Europe, based in the US. There's sort of global competition as well now.
It's that, and that's inherent of all business, right? Competition is super tough. So I'm actually taking a module in my electives term at the moment called The Art of War in Business. And it's really interesting, actually. I've been reading a bit about it, and it is cutthroat. The business world is cutthroat. AI and tech in general is cutthroat. You have to be better than the other people, and you also have to kill them off, right? It's not about being better, because they'll come back and bite you where you don't realize, right? You have to kill them off, and you have to be ruthless. But that's going to also hurt your bottom line, right? It's the price war, the price competition, and you have to find ways of sort of differentiating yourself. In AI, I think it's more in terms of the capabilities, right? Because if you look, sort of ChatGPT, okay, it's if you get the Pro, it's expensive, but it's easily accessible, right? I'd say Copilot's quite accessible as well. There's many other forms, and they're quite accessible. It's not a really expensive thing for the ordinary consumer, right? So you have to invest where else, right? It's brand recognition. Everyone knows about AI. Everyone knows about ChatGPT, but it's also, do we have good capabilities? Are we able to provide the tailored responses and the best responses to people? And that's crucial.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, what you've raised is a very valid point, and it's something that, we've heard about, but it seems to be, getting lost down the line as, the markets change, whatever. But I mean, what you've mentioned is one of the key, concepts of the lean startup, which is obviously a very famous book, is a very famous ideology. The point is that you innovate better than your competition. That's your competitive advantage, and you have to really be able to take advantage of that. If not, you'll fall behind in the race. I mean, so what you've mentioned is a very valid point. I mean, also, like you meant, the point of, brand recognition. Marketing plays a huge role. It has done it for decades, but, it has to be a different form of marketing. Maybe the service you offer, like you mentioned with the personalization. If your competitor is offering a personalized service and you're not, you're immediately at a disadvantage. So there's all these other things you have to think about in today's economy that you wouldn't have had to think about maybe in the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah, and it's an ecosystem you're building. It's the data system, the data storage systems. It's the training facilities, so people know how to use AI, right? It's an ecosystem. So I think in terms of the comparing to the dot-com bubble was basically how we're creating these websites, we're creating these website ecosystems, and that's going to be a standalone thing. I think with AI, you're creating a new methodology, a new vision for how mankind works, and in that sense, it's here to stay, and it's more sort of a societal thing than just simply a business or investment thing, in my view.
No, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, like you said very, correctly, this is here to stay. It's only getting better and better. I mean, think about it. ChatGPT started 2, 3 years ago. But now we're able to, code platforms. We have no code platforms where, the skill of learning how to program is not required, at least officially. I mean, I'm sure there's thousands other applications where, a human involvement has dramatically decreased. So, I mean, it's quite clear it's here to stay. But, going forward, it's very hard to predict, what we're going to see.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, that was great. A lot we spoke about there. And if anyone else has any thoughts, let us know. Get in touch, socials, personally, or wherever. Get in touch, and we'll certainly try to include any feedback in our next episode. So thank you, and we'll catch up with you guys soon.
Yeah, no, of course. Thank you everyone for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.